Let's look at the traditional folk song All Through the Night. We can see that this song is in common time, and it's in bass clef, and it's in the key of F. That means that we're going to be centering around this F in the bass clef. We're also going to need to be mindful that the key of F has a B flat in it, and that will come into play later on. So the rhythm of this song is fairly straightforward. We've got 1 and 3, 4, where this dotted quarter note takes up all of 1 in the first part of 2. Let's be mindful of those dotted quarter notes as we count. Ready and go. 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and 1. If we look at our second line, we'll notice that it's exactly the same as our first line. Let's count that. Ready, go. 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and 1. If we look at our next two lines, we'll notice that our third line is very different, but our fourth line is the same as the first and the second. So let's concentrate on that third line. We'll see a lot of quarter notes and then some familiar rhythms at the end. Ready, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4. So this line is the most different, and then we go back to what we've seen before. 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and 1. Let's go to the beginning. Let's start looking at the pitches. So as I stated before, we start on this F, F3, and we're going to play it with our index finger. And the reason we're going to play that with our index finger is that this song goes all the way down to a D, and it goes all the way up to a G in these first two lines. And so we're going to center our hand around that. F, E, D, F, G. That's our range for these parts. Let's play the first four measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here we have our C, and we'll notice that our pinky is already in place for that C. If we had started our middle finger on F, we would have to reach there. If we started our thumb on F, we would have had to reach for the G. So when you're finding your hand position for a song, you want to try to find the position that requires the least amount of movement. Whenever we move, that's more chances that we'll have mistakes. Okay, so let's play the whole first line. Ready and go. 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Next line. F, E, D, F, G, F, E, C, D, E, E, F. Off. So the same rhythm twice in a row. Now, let's look at the third line. And as we stated before, the third line is the most different. The first note on the third line is going to be this B flat right here. Significantly higher from where we were before. We ended our previous line with our index finger on this F. Now, there's no way around having to move because this part of the song is in quite a different range than the previous part. So we're going to have to move our hand. Now, where do we move it to? This is where it gets more complicated. Because if we notice that we have a B flat, and then we have an A, and then another B flat, and then a C, and then a D. So not only does it jump up, but then it starts moving up past that. We have to have enough fingers for all of the stuff going on there. So let's find this top note and we'll try our thumb there. It doesn't always work that way, but that's a good place to start. So our top note is a D, then our note below it is a C, then our note below it is a B flat. That would mean that we need to play the B flat with our middle finger. That works out fairly well. So we're coming from here. And then we move our whole hand. Wait a minute. Now what do I do? Oh no, I'm out of space. So that means that that's not going to work perfectly. Well, let's try another option. What if we tried our index? Well, then I can't get up to the D unless I reach with my index finger again. Okay, that could work. Oh, but then I've got another note there. You should never play multiple notes of different pitch with the same finger, not back to back. You always want to try to use a different finger. So, okay, that's close, but it doesn't get me there. Now I've got to find a way to move down here, right? Well, what if I use a mix and match of what I did previously? So for this first note, I'll reach with my index, and then my thumb, and then I'll use my middle finger, and then my thumb again. Okay, well that can reach all of them. So to recap, that's index and then thumb. And then the second time you play this note, you'll use your middle finger. So you can walk up. Now some people would just prefer to play this note with their middle finger every time, and that's okay too. That works out fine. But if you don't want to reach as far, then you can play it with your index finger, except the time we reach up. So two possible ways, starting from here, would be that's index, thumb, middle. And then index again. Okay? Or you could play it with your middle finger every single time you play that B flat. And I would be fine with either of those. For some people, having the middle finger play it sometimes and the index finger play it sometimes will be a little more comfortable. Some people say, you know what, if I'm going to get used to playing that note with my middle finger, I'll just play it the same way every time. I'm fine with either one. So let's try it with the second way, just for the purposes of running through it. So starting on middle finger, and then thumb, and then middle finger again. Ready, go. Thumb, index, middle, cross, thumb, switch over. Okay, that gets us through the end of the line with our ring finger on the E. Okay, let's do that whole line one more time. We're starting with, this time we'll start with our index on that note. Just to show you a different way, we'll play index, thumb, middle. Like that. Ready, go. Middle, index, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index here, then thumb, thumb. That gets us to the E with our ring finger. Okay, let's do that line one more time, and you can pick whichever one of those subtle variations you want. Ready, and go. So let me try that one more time. Ready, go. Now we know that our next note has to start on our index because we played it before. So I've just played this with my ring finger. Instead of my middle finger coming to that note, I'm just going to reach over with my index just slowly like that. So makes it a nice easy transition to the following notes. Thumb on A, index on G, middle on F, ring finger on E, and then when you do that, your hand starts to move over, and then index on F. So let's do the last two lines again, starting from measure 9, and we're going to start on that B flat. And again, you can use your index finger or your middle finger for this one, whichever works easier for you. If you use the index, it goes index, thumb, middle. If you use the middle, it goes middle, thumb, middle. So either way, the second time you play B flat, you'll be using your middle finger. All right, for measure 9, ready, go. Switch. Thumb, thumb, walk down index, and that's our song. Let's go back and play the entire thing, start to finish. Index on the F, other fingers sitting there in place, so your pinky's on your C, the ring fingers on the D, middle fingers on the E, index is on the F, and thumb is on the G. Ready? From the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look ahead. 3, 4. Look ahead. 3, 4. Switch. So hopefully that helps you get a good grasp of this song. Obviously, take this video, go back and review it as many times as you need. Pause, start and stop to where you feel really comfortable with, and then play it entirely on your own.